So recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things. Like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced. And now, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I can hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed, because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused, because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that?
This is a prime example of a woman making the mistake of leaving a man based on the 90-10 theory. If you guys don't know what the 90-10 theory is, it's where a man can have 90% of what a woman wants in a man, but she becomes so focused on the 10% that man doesn't have that she breaks it off. She lets him go even though he has 90% of what she wants. And look, when a woman does this, she is fully convinced that she can find a man with 100% of what she wants. And then she goes out into the dating pool and she tries to find a man with that 10%. She thinks initially that this is all that she really wants, and that is what she's focused on. Until she starts cycling through these men, and what she finds is that they don't have all the 90% that her ex did. She finds out the hard way that men don't actually all have that 90% that her husband had. That's why she didn't appreciate it to begin with, because she thought that every man, or at least many men, had the same qualities as her husband, but the 10% was lacking, and that's what she needed to find. Well, over time, she realizes that she made a mistake, that she should have appreciated that 90%. And as far as the 10% that was lacking, maybe she could have either, one, accepted it because she knew that the 90% made up for it, or two, she could have agreed with her husband to work on it. But with that, she needs to be open to taking some accountability for herself and her own actions, and potentially looking at changing some things that she does. This is such an important message for women to hear, because you cannot go back on it, because what this man did is that he realized that he was missing out, right? That she may have only had 50% of what he wanted. And then what happened when she released him? He found somebody else. And I bet you anything that woman, that next woman, appreciates everything about that man. But what really kind of stinks about his new relationship is that you can tell by how this friend is talking that his ex-wife is jealous. She is questioning why he ended up going for a woman that has kids, and he is supporting her, and she is a stay-at-home mom, essentially. Newsflash, you You had that and you let it go. But if she doesn't take accountability for that, she doesn't realize that it was her loss, that she made the mistake, that is final. There's no going back. She is probably going to dislike that other woman that's going to be around her children for no reason other than she is getting to reap the benefits of being with that good man. So that is why this is a cautionary tale to all women.
I left my husband 5 months ago and I regret it. No, you're not supposed to say that. I know I'm supposed to be in my living my best life, hoe era, whatever, but like, no. These last 5 months have broken my spirit. They have been the hardest of my life. These last 5 months have required so much work, so much discipline to get back to myself. But it's supposed to suck. I talked to my friend last night about this on the phone and he really put it in perspective for me. Said the year you get a divorce was going to suck regardless. I question my decisions constantly. No matter what choice I made, I would have been miserable regardless. Life is not supposed to be happy and perfect all the time. Most growth comes from the times when we are having to do the work, having to sit in our misery, having to sit in the quiet. And that is exactly what I'm doing. 31 and I feel like I'm 18 again trying to navigate the world. Because you know what I regret more than leaving my husband? I regret having to get to that point anyway. I regret marrying the wrong person in the first place and not listening to my intuition. From my mistakes. So that you can learn from me being a dumbass because I feel dumb all the time. Of course, it's normal to have regret. I regret so many things in my life, but I can't let it ruin my life either. Never learn from things going right. We learn from them going wrong, and I'm holding on to that. I regret that I had to get to that point. I didn't want it to, but it happened, and we move on.
Disclaimer. This video compilation was created strictly for entertainment purposes. No offense is intended toward any of the individuals featured.
Welcome back, family. Today we will review women who divorce their husbands because of their so-called happiness, then cry later on when reality settled in.
Divorce is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, you guys. It's been a year since everything got finalized. And I am living my best life. I am thriving really lately and finally happy with my routine and my solitude and the things that I do on my own. But this week marks a year and I'm feeling that grief, just kind of clouding over me, which is wild. It's this person doesn't even exist in your life after 7 years, and like the thought that the things that you thought you were going to build together no longer are viable. So it's just a confusing place to be, Went out last night, had a great time, but now I'm feeling a little in my feels, if you would say. So if you're somebody that's struggling with a divorce, you're not alone. And specifically, if you're the person who asked for the divorce and you feel sad, it's normal. I feel like nobody speaks about the person that took the step towards it, right? Because they're just seen in a bad light. You stopped fighting, you didn't want to work on it anymore, you gave up, whatever the case may be. But it is really difficult to make that decision, and it is really difficult to stand by that decision, and it's really hard to navigate the feelings of both wanting to now be on your own and still grieving the fairy tale thing that you had with that person.
Okay, this video is going to be more of like a rant and just like probably a little bit TMI, but my divorce girlies are going to know what I'm talking about. So when I was married for 13 years, and I like 100% supported my ex-husband in like the startup of his business. Like, I created his LLC. I did all of these things. I pushed him to go to his taxidermy school. I made sure that he had a business. I picked the start date. I made the Facebook page. I did all of the things for him. And in the background, I was building my own business and working full time. Fast forward several years later, and we decided to get a divorce. Things just didn't work out. The why doesn't matter, but what does matter, and what I'm really struggling with right now, and I'm sure that I'm not alone, is that I was the breadwinner, right? He was a small business owner, so tax returns, write-offs, all the things. And I worked full-time, W-2, making over 6 figures a year. So when it came down to time for our divorce, even though the reasons of the divorce were not my fault fully, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm just as much to be held accountable for the divorce as him. Anyways, because I made the majority of the money on paper, I was required to take all of the debt in my divorce or pay him alimony or child support. And quite frankly, you got me up because ain't no motherfucker. So I willingly took all of the debt and 100% am supposed to pay for all of the kids' activities and all of the things, which I do. And like literally everybody in my life told me not to do that. And I thought, it's fine. I've got it. I'll be able to handle it. Everything's fine. I'm going to be able to do it. And here we are like 2 years out and I'm literally drowning. I quit my job to take my business full-time last year, and it was really not, I didn't really want to quit. I really wasn't financially ready to quit, but I had missed so much work because my oldest son had, been hospitalized for his mental health a couple times, and then my daughter with her diabetes, and I was a sales commission job, so my customer service score was dropping. So it was like a mutually agreeable, like, okay, we're going to see you later type deal with my full-time job. And I am just like, I'm drowning in debt. And like, I get calls every single day. Like, hey, you owe us this money, and hey, you owe us this money. And I'm like literally just trying to pay my rent. And I'm not asking for anything unless you like want to join my coaching programs. Like that would be great. But like, I'm not asking for you to like Venmo me money. I'm venting because I'm so frustrated because it's like life's not fair. And I know that. And I'm not going to like sit in victim mentality, but like it should not be this hard to live in this country. And I'm drowning and I'm not the only one, and I gotta go to my daughter's basketball tournament. Okay, bye.
Hello, my beauties. Guess who's single again? It's okay though. It's okay. I went to see Mr. Pink tonight, and I'm so grateful that I got to meet Mr. Pink, because he was an incredible distraction in my life that reminded me what it is to feel being in love. He made me realize that the person I want to be with is somebody who really can fucking make me laugh, because he made me laugh every single day. I think that we were right for each other for the moment that we met and the time that we spent together. But I think that our paths are just not aligned for a long time. It was just something that was a very special portion of my life that I definitely needed to have. So I went to his house tonight. He made a delicious chicken Caesar salad. We sat and we chatted. And I was really worried because I wanted to have a chat with him. And I was like, I need to talk to you, but I don't know how to do this. And I want to be sick in my mouth. I was just like, I just did not know how to begin the conversation. And he went, do you want me to go first? And it was really kind because I couldn't do it. And yeah, it was just, he's a really good guy. And we both just know that it's, that we're friends. And that's, yeah, it was really difficult. I couldn't do the thing. So, and my life is so complicated. Like, I'm supposed to be leaving to going to New Zealand in 5 weeks. I've just come out of a marriage. And my life is really just all over the place. And it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot for me. So it'd be a lot for a potential partner to have to deal with me. And I mean, like, I literally think that last week I've had some sort of mental breakdown, but I'm fine again now. Excuse me. Oh, we're used to seeing Sarah snot cry, everybody. Yeah. So Sarah's single. I feel good. He feels good. We feel good. We had a lovely evening. We kissed each other goodbye. And we're both good. So I'm doing really ugly crying because, oh
Oh, I didn't know my cat was in here. She must have thought I was crazy. Oh, I'm just really realizing that my marriage is over and it's really bad. Oh, I'm really sad.
So here's how I learned how to meet my own needs after divorce. So I'm that girl that was in relationships from the time she was 14 years old until at 31, I looked at my husband and I was like, peace out, dude, I'm gonna go do me now. But it didn't take me long after leaving my marriage to just find the next guy. The thing was, the next guy was a lot younger and I knew that it wasn't going to last forever. He looked at me the same way. It was a casual thing. But ending that casual thing, that's when it got really hard. Casual guy and I are still great friends, but separating that meant me going out on my own emotionally for the first time since I was 14 years old. When that casual thing ended and I was like, okay, Jade, we're doing this. We're gonna learn how to just fulfill our own needs. I went through at least a 6 to 8 month span where I was very angry at men. Very angry. Because in my world, in my life, they've basically been a constant letdown. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And during that very, very angry phase that I had, I still, in my head, was thinking, I still need to find a partner, and that, the search hadn't ended. The problem is, when you centralize your focus on finding a relationship, you settle way too easily. You settle for trash. Because you're still in that headspace where it's like, it's better to have someone than nobody at all. So one day it hit me. I didn't know who I was. I had been a stay-at-home mom for years, and everything had just been focus on the kids and everything. And one day I was like, I don't even know what I like. I don't know what I like to do. When it hit me that if I just took the energy and the focus that I had put on men and focused it on learning new skills, cultivating friendships with good boundaries with men, and traveling or doing what it is that I want to do, it was revolutionary. And one of the things that I've noticed is that as I focus on just doing me and being the best version of me, I attract some of the best men. I have multiple deep friendships with men who I trust and respect, men who have shown me that they're not all like the ones from my past. And my secret to navigating all of this now is that all of the men that I meet are friend zone, all of them. Because I truly believe that my perfect person will be a friend first. And that my perfect person will come to me with honesty. So even though I'm such a romantic at heart and I really want love, my primary focus is not relationships.
Okay, good evening, ladies. Okay, I'm just gonna go for this and we'll see how it goes. So, the last few days have been super traumatizing for me. My own fault. It's always my fault. But anyway, I didn't know. Well, I guess I did know, but that I would have this really strong reaction physically, trauma reaction to finding out that my estranged husband has been having a new relationship. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't. We've been separated for a year, but we see each other a lot and we spend time as a family together a lot. And I had asked him many times, are you seeing somebody? And he said, no. He kept saying no. And then he'd take me to dinner and we'd have a nice chat. And I have a boyfriend that I've been seeing. So it's not like I think he shouldn't. Don't get me wrong. This isn't about that. But what happened was because he didn't tell me, I felt safe around him still, like in the way that he still loved me. So he invited me to go on a trip with him and the girls, and I said yes. He bought this big boat for his business, and so we went and got on this boat. But I said yes because I didn't want, you have this feeling when you first get separated that you can't imagine your husband and your children having a great time without you or with a new woman. And I was like, okay, I don't know whether I should go or not. Like, I don't want him to think something, and I don't but then my daughter said, well, he's not going to ask you again, so you should come. And I don't know why she said that, but I do now. So I went. And then when I was there, I found out, because he kept texting and texting, and I just was like, what's going on? And anyway, I found out through some very horrific texts, my fault, that not only was he having a relationship, but they're totally involved in saying, I love you and blah, blah, blah. And I had this physical trauma. Like, I went off the fucking rails. It was terrible. And I was physically ill. And there's a link. They did a study at Johns Hopkins. It's called stress cardiomyopathy, which happens, and it's also called broken heart syndrome, and nobody really takes offense to that because it's what it is. And there's also studies of people that die 88 minutes apart, like the couple in Pennsylvania in 2012. They'd been together their whole lives, 57 years or something, and they died 88 minutes apart because they just couldn't live without the other person. And I think the hard part is that because I'd been with him for so long, since I was 18, for him to be in a relationship where he is in one and you can't figure it out in your mind. And then it felt like he had died. And I kept getting this sick feeling like he was gone and dead. And I almost wished he was dead because it was so shitty of him not to tell me and take me out there so that I'm trapped on a boat with him and his girlfriend on the phone. And then I find out she's at his house, and it's like everything in that house is mine, like that we got when we were married. And that she's been sleeping there. I had no idea. None. And I just feel like that was a bad way for me to find out. I wish I'd had more gradual way to get to it, because I felt humiliated, embarrassed, stupid, old, ugly, because I think she's like 30, and like typical, right? And I honestly, I've been in shock for 4 days. And he's like, well, get over it. You do it. And it's like, you have no, what? This is traumatizing. And I just acted so badly and did all the things you're not supposed to do. And I have blocked him, and I'm not, he's like, let's be friends. I'm like, I'm gonna be fucking friends with you. Not now. Not right now. And then I find out, I'm like, did she come here with you when you were looking at this boat? No. Well, of course she was there for 3 weeks. They spent like 20 grand there, at least, when he couldn't give me any spousal support. Which, talk about red flags. Like, these were from the minute I met him. And I just loved him so much and didn't think anything. Like, I can't see my relationship from the outside. Anybody else can see it and say to me, are you crazy? You've been on this horrific, traumatic roller coaster since you met the guy. Everything's a crisis. Everything's a financial shenanigan. Everything's a trauma. It's turned into this cycle of trauma over and over and over and over. And both of us get this huge dopamine rush from the trauma. And then we go back for more. And he doesn't know how to live without the trauma, because he does it all the time, for business, for everything. And I'm just, I think he likes her. I don't know, but it's somebody for him right now. And I'm glad that he has someone. I'm not trying to take that from him. And he's not a bad man, but it was a bad, bad thing for me. And I'm coming out of it now, but it's like it brought everything to the front, like all the memories and everything that he used to do for me, he's now doing for someone else. And this is fine. It's normal, but it's not normal. But I think I hadn't really faced that yet, or thought that he would, because I'm ridiculous. But, we always put things aside, don't we?
I don't know if anybody will even watch this. It's so long. It's probably really boring too, but I'm going to post it because I had to get it off my chest. Yeah. So these things come up in our divorces, ladies, that you have no way to protect yourself from except to keep your distance. Don't think that you can just stay and be their friend and then it's not going to hurt or you're not going to feel terrible. Even if you have a relationship, it's like the weirdest thing. You've been connected like neurally for so long that it's like a huge death. Anyway, I'm doing okay, but I wish I didn't have to go through this.
You can't make this shit up. That's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons. And also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.